the 7 questions that you can ask in order to elicit urgency. This is what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Now, in a sales call, you can be asking hundreds and hundreds of questions. There is literally no limit to the number of questions you can ask, but questions are of different types. In the previous video, I think I've covered the 4 types of questions that you can use as pillar questions to slowly guide the prospect towards the close. Then there are FAQs and probing questions for the actual problem. Today, I'm going to be talking about how do you elicit and maximize the emotional urgency for the close. Now, there's literally only 2 reasons why people actually buy anything. The first is they are in pain, and the second thing is causing them financial loss. So pain and loss, pain could be a health pain, pain could be a physical pain, pain could be an emotional pain that they're facing if they have a relationship issue. So they have emotional pain and then they have financial loss. So these are the 2 reasons why people actually buy anything today. And if you don't have urgency in a sales call, you could have the budget, you could have the right person, you could have the authority, you could have all of the other elements, but without urgency, the sale is not going to happen today. And as a salesperson, you're only bothered about one thing, which is today the day that this person, or is this person going to pay me right now, yes or no? Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about the 7 questions that you can use in a drilling fashion to go deep into every single need or problem that they tell you, so that you can elicit emotional urgency by using pain and financial loss as the drivers. And by doing this, you will also be giving your prospect a huge service, because most prospects don't realize the depth of the problem till the problem becomes virtually unsolvable. And it's actually the great value that the salesperson provides. It's actually a duty of the salesperson to attach a price tag or an emotional tag to every problem. And during the sales call, if you go really, really deep and the prospect realizes the problem was not worth solving in the first place, even if you do lose the sale, you've actually done a huge favor to the prospect, and they're going to be coming back to you when they have further needs. So I feel that in sales, this is a big service that we are providing to our prospects by quantifying the actual pain, quantifying and bringing the prospect to an urgency question, and literally demanding the money so that they figure out if the pain is big enough to do something about it, right? Yes or no. And if it is not, then at least they walk away with the knowledge that, okay, they've done everything in order to explore different options and kind of go deep into the problem and figure out, okay, this problem is not worth solving right now. Okay. So with that, let's go into this particular video. The 7 questions that you can ask in order to elicit urgency. And the first question, in fact, I've got a bonus question. So the way you start the sales call, of course, is you're going to be asking the first question, which is, what can I help you with? What can I help you with? And when you open with this question, it kind of subconsciously assumes that the prospect is there to take your help. You are the person who's doing the helping, and you automatically become the authority in the call. So when you open the call, hey man, what can I help you with? Or what brings you over here to seek to meet me, or something like that. That helps you build that particular authority. Okay. Now let's start with the first probing question that you can use. You have they'll tell you a particular goal that they want to achieve, and the first thing you got to do is go deeper, one level deeper into the problem, which is, why do you want to achieve that goal? Hey, I want to make more money. And I see a lot of salespeople, oh, you want to make more money? Okay, let's go into solving that problem. Or, hey, I want to build 6 packs. Yeah, let's go into solving that problem. That is almost never the reason. See, in today's times with the internet and everything, the knowledge or the know-how in order to fulfill or fix or achieve any goal is already out there on the internet. Plus, with AI technologies and stuff like that, even if your prospect has been talking about their problem with a trusted friend in a room, if they've been calling somebody about a problem, if they've been searching something online about a problem, these AI technologies are geared to show them potential solutions, ads, products, etc., that are going to help them solve that problem anyway. And you would have seen that by yourself for your own problems. Now, in such a scenario, it is to be assumed that a prospect who has a problem has probably already done some basic level exploration. So they basically already know what solutions are available. They probably already over confused themselves by searching on the internet and stuff like that. So they're already coming with some base level of information. And what you want to do is you want to pierce right through that surface level information the prospect already has by going one step deeper that allows them to explore their own emotions. And the first question you're going to be asking them is, why do you want to achieve that goal? Why do you want to make more money? Why do you want to save more money? Why do you want to get healthier, etc.? And the deeper you go with these why questions, the more the prospect is going to go towards the emotional side of the equation. The more they're going to get in touch with their own feelings. And 99% of sales is all about helping the prospect convince themselves by getting them in touch with their own feelings. If prospects are not in touch with their feelings at the time they're sitting with the sales call, you're going to be talking about some logical stuff, and prospect will at the end say, okay, let me think about it, because whatever logic you tell them, they need some time to process that logic. But emotions are already feeling that emotion. All you got to do is connect with that emotion, help them connect with that emotion, and then the urgency is automatically built. Okay, the first question is, why do you want to achieve that goal? And they have to tell you what is it that they need the money for, why is it that they need the health. Okay, and it's not a lot of salespeople say, okay, we know why they need the health, because they want to live longer. But it's not enough that you know. It's not enough that they know. It is not enough that they know that you know. And it is not enough that you know that they know. The thing has to be put on the table and discussed right now. And you have to elicit the answer from the prospect. Remember, whatever you say at the end, whatever a salesperson says is automatically discounted 100%. But whatever a prospect has actually said on the call, you can use that to close the call. That is why in police matters they say, please don't say anything, because anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. So the same thing applies over here. Anything the prospect says can be used as a declaration that you can use to hold them accountable for their own goals later. But whatever you say at the end, or whatever you assume, which is the worst thing, is going to lose you the sale later. Okay, so why do they want to achieve that goal is the first question. And then you're going to go a little deeper. What is the second question you're going to be asking them? The second question you're going to be asking them is, hey man, how does that make you feel? I want to achieve six pack because I don't think I look very smart. Okay, and whatever, I feel ashamed going to my kids parents teacher meeting, whatever it is. Okay, I want to make extra money because I need more money to fund my kids education, or I need to build up some funds because I have parents whose health I need to take care of. All right. So the next question is, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? Very, very important. Okay. And they have to go deeper. Why do you want to? How does that make you feel that you may be unable to take care of a parent's medical problem, or you may be unable to take care of your kid's education? And the way you ask this question is not a logical question. You got to be empathetic over here. Eyes got to be soft. Voice has got to be soft. You got to ask them, okay, and probably just give them a little gap. Just space this question out. Take your time. Let the prospect feel the space between you and them. Okay, and then you got to let them say, okay, so how does that make you feel? And let them come out with that answer. Okay, so what you're doing is you're slowing down this whole interaction. You're increasing the space, probably leaning back at this time, and prospect can just feel that comfort level when you lean back, ask that question, pace it slow, and really increase the time gap so that they have that time to process their own emotions. Okay, they have to get in touch with their own feelings. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Then it's a podcast where two people are talking about God knows what, and none of the things you talk about is important to any of you. Okay, so very, very important. What is it that is important to them is their feelings about the problem rather than the actual problem itself. Okay, what's the next one? How long has this been going on? Or how long have you had this plan? How long have you been thinking about it? How long have you been trying to lose weight? How long have you been looking around for options that for making more money or something like that? Okay, how long they have already spent in the marketplace? Very, very important, because the longer time they spent in the marketplace, chances are the more confused they have, or the more presupposed ideas they have, which you need to find out about. Okay, if they've got a bunch of presuppositions, you're going to be going in that direction. Okay, have you worked with somebody else already? Have you tried a couple of things already? How long has this been going on? The moment you bring time into the equation, it tells them how much time they've already invested in this problem, and the urgency increases. If they say, I'm just getting started, just got this bright idea, I just saw some ad or your ad and I just came, then it automatically tells you that they are a problem unaware prospect, and then the potentiality for closing them is anyway very low, because they haven't spent some time probing around with themselves. And almost anything you say, they're going to say, okay, I need some more time to think about it. So you need to put all of these things into perspective before you go into the close. That's why you're going to ask this question: how long has this been going on, or how long have you been working in this direction, etc., etc. Okay. Next, why did you say that you feel XYZ emotion in that situation? I feel afraid. Why did you say that you feel afraid? What are you afraid of? Okay. Why did you feel that you feel, why do you feel frustrated with that? Hey man, I think I'm desperate in order to get this done. Why do you feel desperate? What causes the desperation? With every single probing question you're going to ask, they're going to give you either more reference points, more things that have happened in relation to that problem that they're not telling you about because they didn't find it to be relevant. Most prospects will not divulge information because they feel it's not relevant. But for you, it's relevant, and for them, it is relevant enough to say it on the call, on the meeting with you, because that helps build that context for you and helps build that connection. Because you are the salesperson who cared enough for them to elicit the responses and for them to get in touch with that feeling and feel that painful emotion right then and there. The more you can do it, the more they're going to be able to assess whether they want to go ahead and solve this problem, yes or no. If you're unable to do that, they're going to just say, I need more time to process this information, I need more time to think about it. They're going to leave, and you have done them a great disservice because they've already wasted a lot of time not taking a decision, and now they're going to waste more time and not take a decision. Okay. All right. Okay, amazing. Why do you feel depressed? Why do you feel angry? Why do you feel afraid, etc.? So you got to lock down on a particular emotion and go deeper. Okay, let's go to the next one. Can you give me a specific example of that? So they may have said something that these days, so prospects usually talk in generalities, and they say, well, these days kids' education is getting very expensive. Or they'll say that these days health is a big risk, is getting very expensive. At that point, you got to say, okay, what specifically made you think that? Or can you give me an example why you think so? And they're going to say, okay, something happened in my family with my closed ones, and that gave me this idea. Or some incident happened where somebody in my family had to go for higher education, they could not afford it, and that's why the child had to actually leave that degree. Okay, so now you're kind of locking down on how close the problem is to their heart and to their home, and what is the context with which they are thinking that the problem has arisen. Okay, very, very important. Now, it doesn't matter to you as a salesperson, regardless of whether you know this or you don't know this, you're going to go in for the close any which ways. But it's very, very important to elicit from the prospect what are the specific incidents that have made them believe this way. And if they have a wrong belief about something, you can clear that as well. In my case, I hold prospects accountable also. A lot of people come to me and they say, okay, I want to start a side hustle. And I say, okay, what made you think about it, etc. Well, I saw something on TV which said if you can work 2 hours a week, you can make a lot of money. And at this point, before I go in for the close, I will correct that assumption. I'll say, well, I don't know of anything that can make you extra money in working 2 hours a week or 5 hours a week or whatever it is. Okay. So if there is some incorrect assumption, you can correct that before you go in for the close. Very simple. And that automatically adds to your authority building, because you're here to make a sale, but you're not here to let bad assumptions or poor assumptions go on in the mind of the prospect. Okay. So that really helps you to connect with them, and that really helps you to build their authority, and they truly see you as a trusted advisor rather than a salesperson. Okay, so very, very important. What can you give me a specific example of what happened, etc., or why you say that, or any statement that they have made? Can you give me a specific example of that? Very important. Okay. Next probing question: how often does that happen? How often does that happen? Somebody says, hey man, now this is where you're getting the prospect to convince themselves more, because you're driving that screw so deep that the prospect automatically has to convince themselves by convincing you. So what you got to do is you got to be, there are monotonal sales reps. Okay. So somebody comes with a problem, they're like, yes, let me solve the problem. You got to be a consultative sales rep who says, hey man, I want to lose weight. Prospect says, I want to lose weight, and I want to lose weight because, when I go to my son's parent-teacher meeting, I feel that everybody is fit. I'm not fit. I don't want to embarrass my son. Okay. Well, here you got to play the devil's advocate, be the consultant, and say, how often does this meeting happen in a year? Well, it happens twice a year. twice a year in order to not look embarrassing in a parent teacher meeting, is it even worth you making the effort to lose your weight? Okay, now what over here what you're doing is, first of all, you're acting as a devil's advocate, so they're automatically going to want to prove you wrong. No, there are other situations. I'm also at work and I feel over there also I lose a promotion. Amazing. So now by convincing you, they are convincing themselves that they want the goal really bad. Very important. Okay, secondly, you've embedded in there that there's going to take some work from their side. It's not just a off the shelf solution, so they're going to have to work hard in this journey. Is it really worth it for them to work hard? And they have to say yes, and they have to explain why, because over here you're going to take notes, because in the journey later, if they come back and they say I can't do this, you're going to hold all of these things and show it to them, make them accountable. These are the things that you stand to gain, and I'm super excited in helping you in this journey. But why would you not be committed to your own journey? Okay, so over here what we're going to do is we're going to play devil's advocate, and we're going to say how often does that happen, is it even worth it, and the number of times this pain is hitting them in the face. They have to say that, the number of scenarios they feel, additional scenarios they feel, and is it worth it for them to start on their journey in order to get rid of all this pain. The answer is yes, of course, but they have to say that, so that by convincing you, they convince themselves. Okay, very, very important. Next, what is the next question? Question number 7. How soon do you want to find a solution? Now, this is simply a pre-closing question. How soon do you want to find a solution, or what made you reach out for help now? Okay, so when you say how soon do you want to find a solution, or assuming you found a solution, when would you like to get started, or what made you reach out for help now, is directly the urgency question that goes in right before the close, because at this point they're going to say, okay, right now is the right time for me. Why? Okay, they're going to convince you, and by that time they've already bought into the situation. Now they can't say I need to think about it, I'll come back later, and things like that. Okay, this is called a strategic urgency question. When you ask this question, it builds strategic urgency because the prospects themselves tell you why they want to do it now, and later when you build some tactical urgency by giving them a time sensitive offer, then that seals the deal and they go through with it. Okay, so those were the 7 questions that build emotional urgency. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please let me know in the comments what else I can make videos for, or what is the number 1 obstacle you're facing in your sales, and I promise to make a video for you. Till next time, see you. This is Dr. Rajat Sinha, medical doctor turned sales